Welcome. I'm Christine Manning with the Wine Education Institute. You've learned about fermentation, the magic of distillation, and the patience required for maturation. But there's a crucial final stage that takes a great spirit and makes it truly exceptional, the process of finishing. I have a challenge for you today. On this table, I have 4 different spirits. 2 are water white and crystal clear. The other 2 are a beautiful gold. Do you think you can tell what they are? Your immediate guess could be anywhere from a vodka to a Scotch whiskey. Based on sight alone, it is virtually impossible to know for certain. Why? It's all in the finishing. In this segment, we are opening up the spirit producer's final toolbox. We'll dive deep into the artistry and science behind blending, how to achieve consistency and complexity, color adjustment, when and how to use caramel or dyes to affect your final color, texture modification, techniques used to adjust the mouthfeel that can create creamy, oily, or crisp sensations, and removal or filtration to get the spirit ready to be bottled and held for the journey to your glass. This is where the spirit gets topped up. Let's dive in. Often, when we think of what happens to a spirit after it's distilled, we think of oak aging. Well, that definitely happens in many categories. Many others do not use oak at all, yet they still have final adjustments made to them. Today, we will explore what can be done to a spirit after it is distilled, whether or not it is matured. We will understand how these contribute to our final product and why these may be used. When we are looking at oak-aged spirits, so much can change from barrel to barrel or warehouse location, or even different spirits from different years. Blending is how to make all these parts come together. Just as a chef incorporates different ingredients into one final dish, the same concept applies in blending a spirit. The key goals in blending are style, consistency, and complexity. When consumers see a particular producer's name on a label, they will have certain impressions and expectations in mind. This is because our blender has established a house style. Some houses may have more than one label, and each of these products will need to remain consistent. In the huge market of Scotch whiskey, there are hundreds of blended Scotch, but very rarely do you find 2 houses that taste exactly the same. This is because they each have their own specific house style. Blending can be the differentiating step to create this style. If we have a youthful, fresh, oak-aged style such as a VS, a 2-year-old, or maybe even a straight bourbon, a blender may mix some spirits of the same age, but from different sizes or different warehouse locations, or even different raw material bases to create their signature house style. In a different example, for a matured spirit, blenders may combine several distillates of varying ages to meet the minimum age requirements stated on their label. On to consistency. Now, just as you expect your dish from your favorite restaurant to remain the same week after week, consumers expect the same product to remain the same year after year. While we're used to seeing vintage variations in wine, the same just isn't true for spirits. A master blender needs a regular supply of different spirits from different barrels, different strengths, or even different distilleries to ensure that every bottle tastes the same year after year. While consistency is the expectation from bottle to bottle, complexity can be expressed in one single spirit. Cognac is a great example of where we can see complexity being expressed via blending. Dozens, sometimes even hundreds of different eau de vies or base spirits can be blended together to go into one final ultra-aged product, all for that elusive complexity. Next, filtration. Most all spirit categories expect a visually clear spirit. Filtration can ensure clarity. Coarse filtration removes large particles, much like a colander separates water from solids. Coarse filtration plays an effective role in barrel-aged spirits, as particulates may fall off the barrel and into the spirit. Chill filtration is used to remove cloudiness that occurs when a spirit is cooled or diluted. Many spirits are served chilled, and if not filtered, they will become hazy. In categories like vodka, this is almost universally practiced. When chill filtering, the cooler the temperature, the greater the separation. Sometimes temperatures will be dropped between 39 and 14 degrees Fahrenheit. Particulates will then be removed through a very tiny pore-sized filter. Once stabilized, the next time this spirit is chilled, it will stay crystal clear. In categories outside of vodka, some distillers believe chill filtering can impact texture and choose not to chill filter. They may or may not use other means to filter their spirit, which we will look at next. Carbon and activated charcoal filtration is typically used to strip away congeners and make the spirit more texturally smooth. Charred wood, in other words carbon, is able to trap harsh textural elements. Activated charcoal, made from organic materials charred at very high temperatures, can even trap color compounds. Charcoal filtration is such an effective filtering agent, it is legally required in Tennessee whiskey and is known as the Lincoln County process, named after the administrative district it comes from. Here, maple wood must be burned to make charcoal. Typically, it's broken into pellets. A spirit is then dripped through the pellets to be filtered before going on to maturation. Important to note, this process is done prior to maturation. Most other charcoal filtration processes happen after maturation. A couple other categories that use charcoal filtration are many rums. Will use activated charcoal to make an oak-aged yet clear rum. Soju distillers may filter for textural reasons. Now, while many steps of the post-distillation process are kept under wraps, some vodka producers will use their filtration techniques as a way to call attention to their products in their marketing. It may even be possible to find a filtered and an unfiltered vodka and taste side by side to experience this textural difference for yourself. Who said studying was boring? Filtration is not the only way to change color and flavor. Let's look next at adjustments that may be used before bottling a spirit. This is a very hot topic, so I'll reiterate this is a general overview, and it will depend on what is legally allowed within a specific category. Just as visual clarity is expected, visual consistency may be expected. Coloring before final bottling can come from artificial or natural coloring. While maturation in oak adds natural color, distillers may add caramel color, E150A if you're curious, for visual consistency. If you've ever browned butter or made caramel or really even burnt a syrup over a low temperature, you've got a pretty good idea of how caramel coloring is made. When creating an artificial color in a commercial setting, the goal is color rather than flavor. Caramel coloring imparts a lot of color and virtually no flavor, and you only need to add a tiny dose to get a big impact. Caramel color is very important for oak-aged spirits since consistency is difficult to achieve. However, there are some other categories where some or even all coloring may come from caramel coloring. For instance, dark rums may not have even touched an oak barrel and be almost black. Or you may see a Scotch whiskey that has been aged longer than a darker colored counterpart. But because of the amount of caramel color used, the younger spirit appears older. By contrast, in bourbon, caramel coloring is not allowed. Now, we've all seen those brightly colored bottles behind a back bar. Almost any color of the rainbow can be added using food-safe colorings. Natural materials can also give off color. If you're macerating or soaking an ingredient in a spirit to give it a flavor, you may also pick up on that ingredient's color. However, these natural colors may morph over time, so often artificial colors are added to stabilize this color. For a deeper dive on flavored spirits and maturation, please visit our flavored spirits section. Alcoholic strength is almost always adjusted prior to bottling. This is because each category has a legally defined bottling strength, which very often is different from the strength the spirit came off the still with. The most common way to adjust ABV is water dilution. When large amounts of water are used, more focus will be placed on the purity of the water, so it will not impact the flavor or texture of the final spirit. This is where you see many producers call out things like reverse osmosis or ion exchanged water. We go back to vodka, where as much as 60% of the product may be water. Flavor purity and textural smoothness are essential. Cognac goes to great lengths in their dilution efforts to create depth and consistency beyond merely adding water. Some producers will dilute a freshly distilled grape spirit, age this new mixture in a barrel, and when it's ready, use this as their diluting agent. Some will even stagger the ABV levels of these weakening agents, called faibles, to dilute their various cognacs to the proper bottling strength. Sweetness is another post-distillation adjustment option. This can be from adding sugar, syrup from barrels, or other flavorings. Beyond the obvious use, making something taste sweet, sweetness can be added for two other reasons. First, balance. Small amounts of added sugar may not even be noticed in certain spirits, especially if there is a textural warmth or bitterness to the spirit. Secondly, sugar can contribute to the texture or mouthfeel of a spirit. The sugar in an off-dry spirit might be detected only as a silky smoothness on the tip of the tongue. In a medium sweet spirit, in certain rums, for example, they may have more of a mouth-filling quality. And a fully sweet spirit will have a viscosity to it. This is often seen in liqueurs or bitter spirits like anthol-based drinks to balance out the bitterness that is characteristic in this category. Whatever the reason to sweeten may be, the majority of producers are adding pure sugar, powder, or liquid. It may be from cane or from other plant sources like grape or corn. Except again, of course, in cognac, those overachievers. Instead of wasting any of that sweet grape juice, our cellar masters will add some spirit to it, blend it, and age that in barrels and use this as our sweetening agent. This process is known as syrup barrels. That piqued your interest, you can find out more details on cognac in our cognac aging and maturation section. Oak, glycerol, or even sometimes unspecified additions can also alter texture. Some of those options are used to create a silky smoothness or a sense of a full round body on the palate. Note that many of these additions are subject to legal restrictions and are often not disclosed. Once all the final touches are made, blending, filtering, and adjustments, the spirit is ready for packaging. Glass is the most common form of packaging because it is strong, mainly airtight, and inert. Ceramic is another option for an inert vessel, and both types are breakable, but they do meet the market expectation for holding premium spirits. Rigid plastic can sometimes be used, as you've no doubt seen on the counter of your local liquor store or in that hotel minibar. Cans and pouches are also an option. To close these packages, we can use cork, either from trees or a synthetic version. Cork is often seen in those higher end products, but it needs to be used cautiously because sometimes it can be infected with a bacteria that will create cardboard-like aromas in the spirit. Screw caps are widely used and widely accepted in the spirits industry. At last, our final product is ready for sale, representing the distiller's final statement on their craft. Let's recap our post-distillation operations. Blending is the engine of style, consistency, and complexity. Filtration, coarse, chilled, or activated charcoal is key to achieving clarity and influencing texture. Adjustment to a spirit's ABV, color, sweetness, and texture are carefully managed to get the final product to the distiller's chosen style. Once these final adjustments are complete, the product is packaged and the spirit is ready for sale. Now you know how we got to that perfect pour. Oh, and what was in those glasses, you ask? We had a vodka, a clear tequila, a gold tequila, and a Scotch whiskey. Cheers.